Well, when we're trying to understand the history of a century like the one we've just lived through, it's very tempting to focus either on the great individuals, the Churchills and the Stalins and the Emmeline Pankhursts, or on the kind of the huge social movements of the working class or women. But what we lose in all of these big stories that we're quite familiar with is the detail, and we get the detail by looking at where things happened. So very often we tell ourselves the story that women's real goal in life was to get out to work. But actually, when we start to look at the details of people's lives, we find that women were living in such overcrowded, dirty, slum-like conditions in the first part of the 20th century that their really big goal was not to get out of the home, but was to get into one. And so when they got the opportunity after the Second World War to get into the new council houses, the new private estates that were being built in huge rings in the communist East around Berlin and St. Petersburg, or in the West around Paris and London, it was these things that really started to change their lives, because they didn't have to haul coal. They could run bars without carrying the water in from taps outside. They could separate out their own sex lives, the sex lives of them and their partners, from the sex lives of their children and their extended families. And it was this type of change that really freed women to take part in the new leisure cultures of cinema and television, that allowed them also to develop interests outside in the professional world. And it leaves us also asking some difficult questions, because at the end of the 20th century, women are still doing more or less the same types of job that they did at the start: feminized jobs, low-skilled jobs, jobs in caring professions and very unskilled work that they did at the beginning. The real revolution in women's lives takes place in where they live, how they live, what they wake up to every morning. And it's that growth of the home that has most empowered women.